I used to go watch a band. I say, I could do that. I could do it better. I could do it louder, faster. And that's how I evolved into playing the way I play.
We were kind of the gateway for the next generation of punks, the kids that would eventually define hardcore. I didn't get into hardcore. Hardcore happened because of people like me.
You're listening to Deadair, 2 hours of the best the punk and hardcore scene has to offer. Now let's stop talking and let's get to moshing. What's up? Episode 68 of Deadair. Check. Fucking checking the vocals. I'm not super energetic. I've been sick the last fucking week, and it's gonna show a little bit on this episode, so I apologize. We're gonna try to keep the music energy up while my energy is low. That is all I gotta say about that. Just, it's that fucking time of the year. So this week, good episode for you. We're talking to Mike Score of All Out War, which is a cool one for me. It's a band I've wanted to talk to for quite some time, so I'm happy to have him on the show today. This week, talk about just the band, talk about metal, talk about hardcore, talk about their latest record, and all that jazz. But before that, we'll get into a little bit of the show stuff. I'm gonna keep it as kind of a tradition for the beginning of shows from now on. So, just give you a quick show schedule. Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on nwczradio.com, Channel 1. We premiere. And right after that, 10 to midnight in Vegas, we got radio on Radio Vegas.rocks. Just literally right after we go live. And then Thursday nights from 9 to 11 on Renegade Radio. Renegade is broadcasted all over the place. So check it out, and it's Renegade with an A, Renegade Radio. Check that out. And then we got on Friday nights from 7 to 9, Podunk Radio. And then also from 7 to 9, we got Ripper Radio. ripperradio.weebly.com. Sunday from 2 to 4, we're on purerockradio.net. Then we're podcasting on Mondays on deadairhardcoreradio.com. This week we're late. Like I said, I'm fucking sick. So we try to keep, as far as the podcast, I'll do what I can to keep timely, but shit happens. So that'll probably be, that's up currently. It just came up, so just letting you guys know that last week's episode came like 2 days late. Anyway, also go to deadairhardcoreradio.com. This week we'll have some new reviews up very soon, and also we will have information on our ticket giveaways. We're going to be giving away tickets to some Seattle shows. So if you're a Seattle listener, you're close, you're within driving distance of Seattle, maybe a neighboring state in the Northwest, you want to come out, or you're visiting the area. These are tickets that you have the chance to win, and they're always pairs. We're going to be doing 2 this week. We have a few that are coming up, and we'll keep announcing them. But for this week, we're going to be giving away tickets to the Marauder and Leeway NYC tour. They're going to be at El Corazon in Seattle, Sunday, October 27th. More information on that very soon. And then also on Halloween night in Seattle at El Corazon, we have counterparts Straight from the Path, Varial's Chamber, and Portland's own Dying Wish. Like I said, go to deadairhardcoreradio.com, and also our facebook.com/deadairhardcoreradio. And also just our quick socials, Deadair NWCZ on Twitter and Instagram. We've been getting a little bit more active on Twitter again, just because thought it was dead, but it seems like I've been missing so much shit on Twitter. Like, personally, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna keep, no offense to any of my friends out there, I'm not gonna keep up to date personally on what's going on in the world of Twitter, but as far as hardcore Twitter and shit, and there's some stuff that I am missing, and there's people that are putting music on Twitter that I'm not hitting on the other social media. So yeah, so just to reiterate the socials, facebook.com/deadairhardcoreradio, Deadair NWCZ at both Instagram and Twitter, and our email is deadairnwcz@gmail.com. You can message us on any of those platforms just to say what's up, questions, comments, concerns, submissions, and all that jazz. I don't know why I'm saying jazz today. Like I said, I'm sick. So, in the most enthusiastic way, I'm going to try to give you, talk about last week. So, I was able to go to the Knocked Loose tour, like kind of last minute, figured it out, and actually got to see. I think I had to leave just a little bit before it was over because I had to cover my boss at work. But luckily, my work is literally right up the street. So let's get into it. See you, Space Cowboy. Good. They really had a they had more time to shine when I saw them headlining, and a lot of energy. Also, the space is very cramped. So like for some people, I feel like this Knocked Loose tour is probably some people's first heavy show. So I get it. Like as far as El Corazon is concerned, if you've ever been there, it's not the easiest room to read. And there's not like there's space for a lot of people, but as far as the floor space, it's not always the most like ideal. So I get that it takes a minute sometimes to spend depending on the space to get that energy going. But I'm very we're gonna play a track from Sea of Space Cowboy a little later in the show, the newer stuff. I really like the more melodic songs and the more melodic takes, the post-hardcore style stuff that they got going on. It's a lot of like straight up metalcore versus post-hardcore. Love it. And then Candy. I was very very happy and pleased to see them, and I was happy to see the just the reaction. Like not the most moshing, like I said, hard room to get that going on in, but a lot of people, a lot of eyes, like a lot of people had the chance to just go in the bar or go somewhere else, but they stayed. And a lot of people, like, I used to be like a judgy, like, oh man, people aren't moving to this band, but a lot of people were paying attention to the band, which is more than enough. Sometimes it's your band wants the biggest reaction, but like I liked hearing people talk about the band after the show, being like, wow, Knocked Loose really knows how to bring them out. And I'm like, I'm okay with that, I'm okay with that. Like, and I think that's what Knocked Loose is doing for hardcore and smaller bands, and I think that's really cool. Moving on, awesome to see Rotting Out again. Like I said, I was gonna stay posted up, but I decided to go up and sing along because it's been up to 5 years, and I love all the Rotting Out songs, and just sing along, flopping around like a dead fish. Good shit. Good to see just Walter and the crew just fucking rocking out. And then we go to I had to get ready for work during Stick to Your Guns, and then came back for Knocked Loose. And Knocked Loose, first time seeing them, extremely freaking solid. Musicians' energy was crazy. It was cool to see. It was interesting to see Greg from Trial, ex Bystander X, and Posy Chris just in the corner, just like kind of observing, seeing what's going on. That I got a kick out of that. But overall, really, really good show. Man, after you see them live, you can really hear the fucking Warriors style vocals in that voice, and it's that War is Hell shit, and it's cool. So, good gig. Tour's still going on, so check out the dates. Lots of sold out shows. Like I said, first time in a long time that I pre-bought a ticket. Sucks because only to find out that I got offered a ticket like literally day of. But yeah, most of these it's just cool. Lots of sold out hardcore shows on this tour. It'll be interesting to see how this affects, like, is this just, a hype tour, a one and done? People go out to this stuff and then just leave? Because I know, I totally get it. I saw, I think somebody lost their fucking, like, like somebody got their front 2 teeth punched out at one of the shows, and I completely understand like where like people who have never been out to show, just a casual listener, and this is like their first tour, not knowing what to expect, like, because I'm only getting older, and a lot of the people who the first show age is, I feel like, around 16 to 15 to like 17, and those kids, if this is their first tour, I don't know. I eased into it with a lot of like post-hardcore, so it wasn't as fucking crazy going to a hardcore show. But like, yeah, if this is first one, it could, depending on where you're at. Anyways, I'm rambling, so let's get to the music. We started off with new music from a new band called Ash to Ash, Dust to Dust. Just released a 2-song demo, and we're gonna play Ash to Ash, Dust to Dust. We played Ash to Ash, Dust to Dust. World Activation was the second track. Hardcore punk / metal from Oakland. Check it out. Following that, we're going to play some music from Neverending Game. Neverending Game came out with their full length on Triple B this just last week. If you haven't got a chance to listen to it, I like suggest. I've gotten some mixed signals from some people. Some people have said, it's good, and some people who've given me like their opinions, they didn't really like the band too much to begin with, or didn't care. So, first time I listened to that shit, I was fucking pumped. It's like I said, it's just hard, like a lot of groovy, some new metal shit in there, some funky shit in there, some straightforward hardcore, and I'm a fan of those fucking vocals. I'm interested to hear some full length from 3 Knee Deep too, to see, like, to compare what would be better. I really like the newer 3 Knee Deep stuff that came out earlier in the year. I think it was early January, maybe right after Christmas, in that little fringe time. I'm not 100% sure, but I was team 3 Knee Deep, and then listen to more Neverending Game, and it's rough. They're neck and neck. They make some cool mosh jams. So we're gonna do that, and then play a track from Restraining Order. They have a record coming out October 25th on Triple B. Previously on New Age Records. This is their first release on Triple B. Love New Age Records. But this could be a real good signal boost for the band, especially with Triple B's track record and putting out awesome full lengths. So we're gonna get that, and then we'll get to this week's band brawl. You're listening to Deadair, 2 hours of hardcore radio.
Devil takes a stairway, crawling up your spine, breaks into the darkest corner in the back of your mind. Lights you see to corrupt human beings, feeds on corruption, less your greed. Evil crew is part of you, and now it seems to be that every time I look at you, evil grows in me.
Band Brawl. Yep, so it's Band Brawl. We put bands into the fucking ring. We fucking battle it out, and ultimately, you motherfuckers decide who wins. So sometimes we do 2 bands, sometimes we do albums. We do the damn thing. And we post it on Deadair Hardcore Radio on our Facebook group. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, we have a Facebook group, Deadair Hardcore Radio. Get deeper in, not deeper. We just discuss more shit. It's just more stuff, easier way to keep in touch. Just since they throttle the Facebook so bad. We also do post it on Facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio. We still do all that. But yeah, the Deadair Hardcore Radio Facebook group. You know, go be a part of it. Send us an ad. Like us on those things. Do the thing. Anyways, so last week we did 4 records from the year 1986, and it was Cro-Mag's Age of Quarrel, Youth of Today Break Down the Walls, Bad Brains, Eye Against Eye, and Dag Nasty. Can I say? And definitely Cro-Mag's beat it out. Guess it's no surprise to anyone, and I just wanted to see if Youth of Today might beat it out, or even just randomly Bad Brains. I want to see if somebody would, because I wanted it. Just goes to show that record is just the fucking record. Age of Quarrel. I mean, I'm not gonna go too far into it, because like every podcast, every band that, you know, all of us in the world of hardcore radio, podcast, whatever, mention this record, so there's no reason to go any further. Just if you're listening on one of our mini syndicates or stations, and you've never listened to some of these bands and you're interested in hardcore, these 4 records, good shit. So I'd definitely listen to them. 4 really awesome fucking there was obviously a good year for hardcore and punk. So we're gonna play World Peace. Then we'll be right back. You're listening to Deadair.
It just can't exist. One piece can be done.
All right, so this week's matchup, we're going to continue the 4 releases from a year, and we're going to go up to 1997, where some really influential metallic and hardcore and metalcore releases were birthed this year. One of them's an EP, but still influential. So we're gonna go down the line for this week's choices. Starting up November 11th, 1997, we have Hatebreed's debut LP on Victory. Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. I got to see that last year performed in its entirety. Best possible version of Hatebreed for me and for a lot of people. I know a lot of people I know there's a lot of people who stop at this record and don't go any further. Some people stop at Perseverance, and then there's some people who just are through and through Hatebreed fans. Me, I'm picky and choosy, but this record is up there with one of my favorite records ever. Moving on to an EP, like I talked about, metallic hardcore, One King Down, with their Bloodlust Revenge EP. Big fan of Rob on the vocals. And I know this definitely is a top in anybody's metalcore catalog. Next, we have In This Defiance by Strife, released April 22nd, 1997. Like I said, another killer and influential band in the world of metalcore. This has probably the most known song from Strife, got Blistered. I believe, I'm trying to think which was the song that has Chino. Oh yeah, this is Will to Die on this one? No, it's on the other one. But I like the one. I love it. Oh yeah, it is. Will to Die with Chino from Deftones is on this, so solid fucking record. Sorry, I psyched myself out. And then another record. I'd love to see this fucking band. Snapcase. Progression through unlearning and designs for automation. Solid fucking, like, that. The record is a that's fucking smartcore right there. That's just like, it's just so good. It's so fucking good. Nothing cave. The most caveman record definitely is the Hatebreed, but just awesome musicianship in all these records. Really up the game for metal and hardcore. So here, once again, we're gonna go Hatebreed, Satisfaction, One King Down, Bloodlust Revenge, Strife, In This Defiance, and Snapcase, Progression Through Unlearning. It'll all be on Facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio, and also through our group Deadair Deadair Hardcore Radio. Like I said, fucking sick this week. Sorry, guys. So, as usual, we're going to play those tracks. We'll play Hatebreed, Burn the Lies, One King Down, Defiance, Stand as One from Strife, and Guilty by Ignorance. My bad. From Snapcase. And then we're going to get to our interview with Mike from All Out War. We'll be back. You'll listen to Dead Air. This is Band Brawl. Vigo. Eats. All vegan and vegetarian food options. Located on Pioneer Ave in Puyallup, Washington. Do your part to support vegan establishments in small towns. Check out Vigo_EATZ on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So currently on the phone with Mike from All Out War. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. First question. With All Out War, before you got into this band, what were you first? Metal fan or punk fan?
I started out totally into metal.
Where did punk and hardcore come in?
Well, I started going to like a lot of crossover shows. So I would go see like Nuclear Assault and Broken Bones would be playing, and then I'd go see Creator and DRI would be playing. So that was sort of my gateway into hardcore. So I started to like go to both shows. So I would go to like CBGB's here in New York on Sundays, and then I'd also go to Lemoore in Brooklyn, to see the metal shows. And I was going to a lot of crossover shows, like at this place called City Gardens in New Jersey. So I was always like, more into metal, but then I kind of got drawn into the hardcore world. I really liked the ethics of hardcore. I liked the DIY nature, So that's where it came from.
And so for All Out War, when you started, you were was the idea to be a metal band first?
Yeah, I think especially when we started, we started basically because a lot at the time, a lot of the hardcore bands were moving away from hardcore and doing more of like a post-hardcore type thing, and we weren't with that at all. And we were always, into Creator, but we were also into like Carnivore. So Chris from Marauder and I decided that we were going to start All Out War, and we were going to mesh the two styles, like more of the crossover styles, and then this dead up thrash stuff, and that's where All Out War came from.
The inception of the band, that was around 1991, correct? Or is it a little bit earlier than that?
Right. 91. Our first show was in 91.
And
it's actually December of 91, so it was the tail end of 91. That was our first show.
How long was it before you guys, when you started the band from when you played that first show? How long was it before you played that show in December?
I think like 7 months, something like that. It was less than a year.
Have you read the Wikipedia?
It changes so much, but I've seen it. I can't remember the last time I looked at it.
The first whole part of the bio is about your first show at a skate park, fight breaking out, and cops coming to break it up. There's
totally accurate. Yeah, totally accurate. There was a lot of crazy shows back then.
I assume that's probably nothing out of the norm for shows in New York around that era.
I mean, the early 90s were really crazy in New York, and I mean there was a lot of fights. So I think it's definitely calmed down since then, but definitely in the beginning, of All Out War, there were a lot of crazy shows.
I mean, yeah, with New York and having like all those bands in the early 90s with a hardcore with a really heavy metal influence, just I can see it could bring out a lot of crazy in people.
And we always drew both crowds, so we drew a metal crowd and a hardcore crowd, and those two crowds didn't always get along or see eye to eye, so there was always kind of beef between the two crowds back then too.
Has that battle ever gone away? Because I don't know, was it worse then than it is now? Because it still happens today with like even like the newer bands with like Power Trip and Nails.
At first it was bad. Then it got better, and I don't know if it's as bad now as it was back then.
I don't still understand how the gap hasn't been bridged yet. Like, so I think it's some aspects it has, but some it's just like, because on a listening basis, I think a lot of people still like have, past 20 years have easily crossed over between hardcore and metal back and forth and listen in a listening standpoint. But like it seems like still sometimes when you go to a show, there's still some really weird divide that some of the fans are not on the same page at all. Even fans of many, many years.
Yeah, I mean, I've always bounced between both scenes, so I never had any kind of problem because, I've always been into both, so, but I totally see what you're saying.
And what would you say these days, doing the thing as long as All Out War has been doing it, like, what would you say is like, if you were able to gauge the crowd in 2019 after putting out the latest record, who would you say, could you confidently say what crowd you think you're pulling more of?
I think lately we've been playing a lot of metal shows. So we've been definitely playing a lot more metal shows lately. So, it's really hard to say. It's hard to say, but I mean, I love playing both. I've always loved playing both. And All Out War is definitely more of a metal band. So I would say probably the metal crowd lately.
Does the hardcore in the music just come naturally, or do you guys kind of be like, all right, I want to put a hardcore part, here?
It definitely comes naturally, especially since we spent all these years like listening to both genres. It's never been something that's been forced. It's always been just our love of brutal music, if that makes any sense to you. I mean, we've never consciously said, okay, this is going to be the hardcore part and this is going to be the metal part. It's just always just kind of flowed because that's where our background is. So, we go from listening to Cro-Mag's Age of Quarrel to Creator, Pleasure to Kill, and it's just what we're into. It's always been that way.
For Those Who Crucified is by far it's in my top records of all time, especially for metal and hardcore. What inspires your writing process for writing lyrics and writing music?
As far as the lyrics go, it's basically everything that I see happening, and it's the hypocrisy I see in humanity and the hypocrisy I see in politics and religion, and that all comes to a head, and the lyrics just come out. Musically, it's the same thing. It's just all that aggression just comes out. There's no real blueprint for the music. The lyrics, I would say, definitely are inspired by what I see, around me, what I see on the news, and just my take on humanity in general.
Do you try to keep it like current or with what's going on in day to day, or do you just try to kind of translate of just like, this is the shit that's always been happening?
Well, I think, if you trace back, the history of humanity, it's always been this way. It's just, people are basically sheep and easily duped by the powers that be and constantly in search of a savior. And when you are constantly in search of a savior, you're willing to accept any lie just for that security. And I think, basically that's been the human race throughout time, and it's still happening now. And actually now with social media, it's even worse. So now you have people who are willing to blindly accept anybody who provides them with any sense of security, no matter how false that security is.
Absolutely. And and I mean, that's still the same. Like it's in every aspect, especially in and out of the of the hardcore scene, because there is like, this set apart and this culture, but there's a lot of people who buy into a lot of false gods just within music. itself and
Oh.
within our own little confines of this scene.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that there's a lot of hero worship, and there's a lot of people who just jump on certain, hype trains just so they can be part of something. I think individual thought has been deteriorating, not only in society but within the scene for a long time.
So, what would you say is like the main difference between when you started, you've seen a lot. What's like between now and then when you guys started playing music? What is like the day and night biggest difference between in the world of metal and hardcore?
That's a good question. There's a lot of similarities, and as far as like scene politics and all that kind of stuff, it's never been anything that I've ever personally paid attention to, because it's nothing that I've ever cared about. Like, I don't really care about, scene drama or anything like that. But I would say that a lot of the individuality has been lost over the years, at least, from my perspective. I think that there is a lot of, okay, greatest way to explain this. When I was coming up in the scene, everybody was looking for the most obscure bands, and that helped. I think, one of the big differences that I see is that back in the day, everybody was looking for obscure bands to be into. Like, everybody was looking for bands that not everybody heard of. So that's how you got exposed to new bands, because somebody would always be like, oh, you listen to this? Well, check out this band. And now today, I think the difference is a lot of bands that don't get hyped up, they don't get the attention that they deserve. So it's very difficult for a band to start from nothing if they're not receiving that hype. Because today, I think it's all about the hype. It's all about the herd, where back in the day, everybody was sort of searching for more underground bands. And I think that helped, a lot of smaller bands get exposure, which maybe they don't get today as much as they used to.
Did you ever expect to be doing this over 20 years from now? When you guys were in the, started out, was there like a plan to keep going for years and years, or just what was in your head when you started out? Did you ever think that you'd be here for 20 plus years?
No, not at all. I mean, we started playing, and it was for the sole purpose of trying to create a band to be as brutal as possible. Like, that was our goal. Our goal was just to push the envelope, because there wasn't a lot of like metallic hardcore bands back then. So our goal basically was, put out a demo, play some shows for our friends, play CBGBs, and that was pretty much it. And then it just became such a big part of our lives that here we are all these years later, and we're still doing it, because it's mainly this is what we do. This is our life. Our friends are from the scene. Our significant others are from the scene. Like, I met my wife doing this. So, I mean, it's such a big part of my life that it was never planned. It just is where I belong.
And do you think you'll ever plan to stop?
No.
Not even a thought in your mind?
Don't even think about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, what else would I do?
Well,
I think, with All Out War, one of the things that makes it easy to keep going is we don't give a shit what anybody thinks. We don't care. We don't care about, we don't care about popularity. We don't care about fitting in. We don't care about any of this stuff. We hang out, we write music, and that's that. And we play shows, and we don't really care. And I think the minute you start to care, then it's easier to get disillusioned or get tired of it or whatever, and we don't care. So that that helps out a lot.
Do you even try to pay attention to what's going on, or do you try to keep yourself separate from from the current, like, newer and metal and hardcore bands?
I mean, I like to support new bands. I like to check out new music. I don't get overly involved in the scene or anything like that, but I definitely love when new records come out. Like I really like the new Gate Creeper record. Outer Heaven is a band that I really dig. That's sort of new. Heavens Die, I like that band. So I pay attention to like the younger bands and the newer bands, but as far as like scene stuff, I don't really pay attention to any of that kind of stuff.
I mean, after doing it as long as you have, I wouldn't see why would you want. Tell us all that you would like us to know about the latest record that came out this year.
I think I'm really happy with the new record. I think we drew from some different influences this time. It's got some blast beats on it, which we didn't really touch on that much before earlier on with the other records. So I definitely think, we went a little bit different. We took it a little different route with this one, which I'm really excited about. And the new stuff that we're writing now stays, along that same path. Everything's getting a little bit more extreme. So instead of slowing down in our old age, we're getting faster. The music's getting heavier, which is really, cool with me. So I'm glad we're going that route, and we've been kind of touching on more like a black metal vibe lately. So, and a lot of grind stuff we've been influenced by. So I think that's the direction of the band at this point.
And yeah, you guys still, how does some of the newer stuff go with, has there been any hardcore shows since you guys came out with the new record? Because the new record came out like not too long ago. Have hardcore
we went out with I Hate God and Come to Grief, so that was not a hardcore show. That was not a hardcore tour. And let's see, we just played with Agnostic Front last week, so I guess that was the most hardcore show we went out with In Cold Blood a while ago. We're about to do some more shows with Integrity, so we're going to go out with them in November. So I think, it's still been a good mix, but we got a show coming up with Nile and Terrorizer in a couple weeks. So we mix it up. We play with whoever.
So my question was going to be how hardcore kids have been reacting to newer material, and I guess that question is to be determined.
It's to be determined. Yeah, I like I said, I don't really. We do what we do, and you're either into it or you're not, and we appreciate everybody that's into it, but we don't, dwell on, who's going to be into this. Is hardcore people going to like it? Is metal people going to like it? It is what it is. It's brutal. It's aggressive music.
Mike, last couple questions. This one's a two-parter. What in the past 20+ years what's been your favorite moment, one or a couple of your favorite moments, and part two, what's something that you still would like to achieve with this band?
I guess, favorite moment specifically is hard to narrow down. What I've really enjoyed is getting to travel and meet the people that I've met, because I've met some great people doing this, and I really enjoy getting out there and meeting people and seeing old friends and making new friends. I mean, it's definitely, it's a great way to live, experiencing things and experiencing the world. I mean, you can't beat it. So that's been my favorite thing about being in the band for the past 20 years. And like I said, I met my wife playing she played in the band, so our bands played together. So I guess that would be my favorite moment, meeting my wife, because if I wasn't in a band, and she wasn't in a band, we never would have met. So that's definitely a plus. And what I would really like to do at this point is we have never played like Southeast Asia, so I'd like to get an opportunity to go there, in the near future. We've had some offers. I'm just hoping that it comes together soon. And that's it.
Mike, thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. Any last words?
No, just keep coming out to shows and supporting new bands and keeping this stuff alive, because it's a great thing to come out and support new bands and support shows and keep underground music going. Definitely got to keep supporting everything to make sure that everything is long lasting.
Well, thank you so much. We're gonna get back to the music. You listen to Deadair, 2 hours of hardcore radio. Here's a big block of music for you motherfuckers. Let's stop talking and let's get the fucking moshing.
Set it on!
Shout out to Mike of All Out War. Check out Crawl Among the Filth, the latest LP from them. We played a couple of songs from the record. We played Judas Always Crawls and Divine Isolation. After that, we started off our block of music. Like I said, we earlier was going to play a track. We played a track from Sea Space Cowboy, Prolonging the Inevitable, from the correlation between entrance and exit wounds. Currently on tour with Knocked Loose. This record's been out for a couple weeks now and has gotten some Billboard recognition as well for new record, new artist, and always cool to see that kind of success. From not too long ago, they were hanging out in here and playing in the studio, about to play a show down the street. So hard work does pay off, and also doing something different, sticking to the type of sound you want to play, no matter what. Not just because somebody likes it, but because you fucking like it. Live by what you want, and I believe that band plays the type of music they want to fucking play, not worried what other people want to hear. But luckily, people are receptive to it. So, dope shit. Following that, another Pure Noise record coming out on November 15th. Played a track from the new Left Behind record, Peeling Wax. Once again, that's out November 15th on Pure Noise. Following that, played a track from a band my ex co-host X Chris X showed me a couple weeks back. This came out at the beginning of October. Metal and hardcore band called Skin Ticket from Phoenix, Arizona. We played the second track off of their EP titled Pure Fucking Chaos. Track's called H.I. Hi. H.I. Anyways, and then we got a submission. You can always send submissions to us. deadairnwcz@gmail.com. Once again, deadairnwcz@gmail.com. Can also hit us up on our Facebook, facebook.com/deadairhardcoreradio, and our socials at deadairnwcz on both Instagram and Twitter. We had a submission from a band called Fever Strike. Sorry, the music went dead. That's better. Song's called False Memory. Band from North Carolina. Check it out. Moving on, we're gonna go into some a little bit of future concerts since we have the time this week. Go to our website deadairhardcoreradio.com and check out our calendar. We have calendars for lots of local Northwest shows as well as festivals that are going all over the country. So check it out. Coming up on October 18th, we got Desert Dweller Fest. If you're in the Tucson, Arizona area or can make it out, it's a 2-day festival. It's year 3. Absence of Mind, The Beautiful Ones, By All Means from Tacoma is coming out to that. Concrete Evidence, Construct, Crossfire, Drain, Easy Money, Gunpowder, Gulch, Hands of God, Initiate, Iniquity, Jinx, King 9, Penalty Box, Regional Justice Center, Slow Bleed, Troubled, Vamakara, and War Prison. That's fucking dope. Then, of course, on like I said, on the 27th of October, actually on the 23rd, we also let's go to the 23rd. We got I Hate God is on tour with with Negative Approach, Sheer Terror, Final Conflict, and The Accused AD is opening up. It's From the Elementary to the Penitentiary tour. That's October 23rd. You can go check out the rest of the tour dates as well. Then we got on the 27th, of course, we got at Oak Zone Seattle, Marauder, and Leeway. Then on the 31st, we got Counterparts with, like I said, with Dying Wish, Chamber, and more. Following that, on the 8th, in Seattle, I have a Northwest tour with Sect, on with Wake of Humanity at Fusion Cafe. So yeah, that's what's going on. Really wish I could go to that Desert Dweller Fest. Really dope for the Tacoma boys going out to that. So we're gonna play some tracks from that festival. We're gonna play some Absence of Mind. We have yet to play this band at all on and that's weird. They had a record called Smile, Aren't You Happy, come out June 3rd. And I've been meaning to talk about this, but it's just like we've had so many releases I just like, and with taking weeks off here and there, the releases kept piling up, and somehow this one got buried. But we have a little bit more of a laxed weeks with the music, so I was able to get this on, and I just want to hear. I've heard a lot of interesting comments on this record, so hit me up, send a message, or post on my wall, Deadair Hardcore Radio, facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio, or deadairnwcz@gmail.com. Tell me what you think about this record. Once again, it's Smile, Aren't You Happy by Absence of Mine. And I'm gonna play we're gonna play the title track, and then we're gonna play new music from Vamakara, Deliverance. They have a new record coming out very, very soon, and they're both playing Desert Dweller. Also, new music from Counterparts, Separate Wounds, off of Nothing Left to Love. That's going to be out on November 1st for Pure Noise Records. So we're going to play those tracks. And then we'll be back to finish up the show. Listen to Deadair, Terrors of Hardcore Radio.
All dream was wrong, it was right. Gave all I had to give, and now I'm left with this life. You watch me die. When the lights become so dim, my sanity is growing thin. I lost all I am. I give anything for a second chance. The burden of this guilt and all of this fucking weight. The only way to live this life, I chose my own fate. Find my place. When the lights become so dim, you're not getting better. My sanity is growing thin. I found some God's when I found mercy. Dedicate myself peace. I won't see heaven when I die. Myself to best. This feeling will never pass. When the sentence to rest, will it follow me until death? different
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Deadair Moshbot telling you to check out the brand new Deadair website now. Go to deadairhardcoreradio.com for all podcasted shows as well as news, reviews, and content you can't get anywhere else. Go now or feel the wrath of my cold, hard robotic leg spin kicking you straight in the face.
Always move.
I'm getting kicked out of the fucking studio, so I need to make this quick. So, finishing up episode 68 of Deadair. We start off with Black Mamba, Spit It Out. They just put out a video for this, but the record came out in 2018, so just checked it out. Euroband. Next we got Eradicator with I'ma Be Me. Let me know what you think of this. It's different, a little bit drug churchy, a little bit pop punky. Interesting track. Following that we got Veins, not Vain, with 4/16/2007. Unlike Vain, this is a Youth Attack band. Punk hardcore. Then we got from Idaho, Stalemate with Devoid, off of what is it? World of Fire. And followed that we got Heaven's Blade with their self-titled EP. From LA, we played Ledgers of Truth, and then we're gonna get out of here with Military Discount by Armor. So we're ending it a little punk. Shout out to Mike from All Out War. Check that shit out. More stuff on deadairhardcoreradio.com this week. Some more reviews, updates to the concert calendar and whatnot. This week has been a little bit of a, like I said, a lull. I've been sick, catching up a little bit. So more stuff to happen very, very soon. How much time? Oh man, I usually have like not a lot of time. So we're gonna just go by doing the socials one more time. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at both Deadair NWCZ, as well as Deadair Hardcore Radio, Facebook.com/Deadair Hardcore Radio, and DeadairHardcoreRadio.com. And send us some submissions. I would love to do an all submission show. That would be cool. That's something I'm thinking of doing in the future. I'm trying to organize my thoughts and get stuff better down. Like, hopefully we're working on getting the whole co-host thing in order. It started off and then it went. So we're working on it. I'm working on it. So I'm gonna get the hell out of here. This is episode 68, Deadair. Like I said, we're gonna play Military Discount from Armor. Peace.